watching the Situation Room, and I am Ghanwa Mohiuddin. And once again, our armed forces have made us very proud as they have downed 29 of Israeli-made Harab drones from across Pakistan, from Chakwal to the coastlines to Karachi. They have downed 29 Israeli-made drones very successfully. And this was done with precision, with power, and with patriotism. So we have with us in the studios Hassan Gillani and Mahnoor Qureshi. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much.
Now let's talk about that they have started sending in unmanned drones. Does this show some sort of panic in their leadership in their armed forces after we have downed 5 of their jet planes, of their warplanes, that they are in a panic now?
I believe yes, because I believe their pilots are not letting them, use them for their such kind of drama against Pakistan and for destabilizing the peace of the region, and that's why they are sending unmanned drones to Pakistan. And it's just for creating panic in the society, just for creating panic among the Muslims, among Pakistanis, and they are failed miserably because we have shot down 25 of their drones. So such things have shown the India side's panic, and according to the military experts, that they have failed miserably. Indian Air Force have failed miserably, and obviously we have second strike capability, we have deterrence capability, which we have shown to them as well, that we can deter you at any level. So we have shown this to them as well, and I believe that this is the panic of Indian government, this is the panic of their armed forces as well, because now they don't know what to do. What is their target? We don't know. Is it food street? Is it like road? What is their target? We don't know about it, and what they actually want. On one side they are hoisting white flags, on other sides they are sending the drones, and now we are continuously shotting down their drones, and they are like I think a few moments back they are hosting white flags once again, that they have accepted their defeat. So on one hand, if they are accepting their defeat, and on the other hand they are sending their drones to Pakistan and that are unmanned, that shows that their military is not ready, their military is not having will, their pilots are not having will to be in such kind of drama against Pakistan, because they are building their case against Pakistan, and people inside the India already knew that.
Hassan, do you agree with that?
Well, it has been nearly 48 hours now, ever since India launched this botched attempt against Pakistan, attempt to intimidate Pakistan, attempt to launch and attack Pakistan in such a way that Pakistan also is involved in retaliatory action, in which Pakistan of course resorted to. Whatever has happened over the last 2 days is certainly not good for the two countries, nor for the region, neither for the entire world peace. But we have to keep in mind one fact, Ghanwa, that we are dealing with an adversary who is cunning but not stupid. This is basically an attempt by India to involve us in conflict in such a way that Pakistan is reflected as an aggressor in the eyes of the international community.
True.
In the last 48 hours, we have seen 2 attempts by India. One was, of course, when the conflict broke on the night of the 6th and 7th May, and now we are seeing this fresh attack that came today. This time they have targeted Pakistan's settled areas, both in Punjab and in Sindh. This also led to fresh casualties. People lost their lives, precious lives got lost as a result of the settled areas attacked, and we saw that at least 4 of our armed forces personnel, they also suffered injuries. But this is a method in the madness. As I said, that India is trying to engage Pakistan in such a way that Pakistan gets frustrated and Pakistan retaliates in such a way that Pakistan emerges as an aggressor at the international community. So far, we have been able to maintain our reputation of a country who is exercising and demonstrating maximum restraint.
It's a very desperate regime trying to provoke war from us.
That's right.
Yes.
See, we have to keep in mind that we are dealing with an adversary which is acting in a state of frenzy. There is absolute uncertainty. They are jittery, they are panicky, they are trying to provoke us, they are trying to infuriate us, and we have so far been maintaining restraint in such a way that we have responded to them in a befitting way, but we have only targeted the areas that we were required to. There hasn't been any civilian casualty in India or in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir as a result of Pakistani actions. Pakistan claims that it has killed at least 30 to 40 Indian armed forces personnel, and they of course were the ones who were involved in attacking Pakistan and launching aggression against Pakistan, so we were bound to react. But now we have to keep in mind that India is faced with tremendous amount of international fury and international outrage. Look at the statements coming from different world capitals. We are also seeing the US getting proactive in de-escalating the situation. There has been a talk between the US foreign minister, the Secretary of State of the US with the foreign minister of India to de-escalate the situation. So India is faced with this escalating, mounting pressure, and in a desperate bid to undermine Pakistan, they have launched this fresh attack, which was in the settled areas of Pakistan. The situation continues to be volatile. It is very grim. On Pakistani side, we have seen that the forces are on high alert in such a way that if and when provoked, we are ready to respond. If you look at the statements coming from the civil leadership, they have said that the forces in Pakistan have been given a free hand, fully authorized to do what they can. Now, to what extent they do that, what is the exact nature of the attack from Pakistan, what is the scale of the attack from Pakistan is basically a secret garden to which only Pakistan's armed forces have the key. So we don't want to get into speculation about that, nor is it appropriate for us to go there. But as you can see that today also, as we were doing this program, short while ago, we have seen that Pakistan has attacked certain positions on the line of control in retaliation to what India has done. If you look at the statement coming from the Information Minister this evening in the National Assembly,
Before we get to that, I just want to ask a little technical question. We're hearing these terms of a soft kill and a hard kill. I want you to explain to our audience, like, what method has Pakistan used in neutralizing these drones?
Right, soft hit and hard hit are two different methods of neutralizing the drones that came from the Indian side. The Israeli origin drones, there were 29 in number. Soft hit basically means that the drones which tried to intrude into Pakistani territory, and the Pakistani government, using the technological resources and technological expertise, tried to suspend their communication network with their handlers. This is called the soft hit. Hard hit is the attempt to down these drones by using Pakistan's air defense system. So in the first case, they used technology to deactivate their communication lines with their handlers. In the second attempt, which is the hard hit, is basically downing or neutralizing these drones
action.
Exactly, by physically downing in terms of the usage of Pakistan's own air defense system.
Now, coming back to the world's reaction, the statements coming from the US president, from the efforts made by Turkey and Iran, like, tell me about the world reaction to this latest development.
The world reaction, of course, is something which Pakistan has been feeling very satisfied with, because none of the important world capitals has sided with India.
We can successfully say that we are leading this narrative. The world is overwhelmingly siding with facts and evidence that we have presented, rather than the fictional imaginary story that India is trying to weave.
That's right. Our stance has been bought by the important world capitals, but there is also a viewpoint held by many across the world that the US, which is the most important world capital when it comes to ensuring peace and stability in different parts of the world, hasn't been as active in terms of settling this crisis as it should have been, because the statements coming from Washington are passive statements. I mean, expression of interest, expression of desire, expression of concern, but nothing practical, nothing tangible done by Washington or Donald Trump. So we are seeing that apparently Donald Trump is not following the set traditional playbook of the White House or the Pentagon or the State Department when it comes to dealing with capitals like New Delhi and Islamabad. In the past, we have seen, not far back, we have seen that in 2019, when India and Pakistan were at loggerheads with each other, and Donald Trump was in his first term, he was way more proactive in having Pakistan and India settle their differences as compared to now. Look what he has done. He's saying that I am ready to play a role to diffuse tension between India and Pakistan if asked. Now these ifs and buts are actually creating the problem.
Now, Mahnoor, coming to you, what role do you think these major players of these major world powers can play, the regional powers can play in settling down this conflict? Do you think they can put pressure to rein India back in?
Actually, they are already putting that pressure that requires at that time, but I believe that in terms of India, US has already observed that they actually want something out of such kind of condition. They actually want something after creating such kind of tensions in the world. And obviously, we all know that US also want to control China, and they have the same goals. Even India and US are on one page, I believe, on such things, and US refrain China from escalating such kind of tensions with Pakistan as well. But I believe states can afford such kind of wars, but people cannot. And people of both the countries already knew such things. That's why they want peace. They are standing by their narrative, they are standing by their governments, they are standing by their nation. But the issue lies behind the goals of governments, what they actually want. We all know that what Modi government want out of it. We actually know what India want out of it, and these are their goals to destabilize the region.
What does Modi want and what does India want?
Obviously, they want to curtail China in the longer term. If they want, if we want to talk about that, so they want to curtail China. They want to curtail the very important project between China and Pakistan, that is CPEC. They want to promote proxies in Balochistan. So we know that are their longer term goals, and we all know that elections are coming up in India.
In Pakistan.
Yeah, so due to elections are coming up in India, so for public eyeballs, for public support, they need such kind of tactics to have a support at large. So we all know
they need an imaginary villain.
Narrative is being sold in India since long. So they are doing that. They are doing the ethnic cleansing as well.
It sells really well in their media.
Yeah, and they sell such. Actually, the media is the representative of the people. Media is the representative of what people at large want. So the media is representing what the government want here. So basically, we have seen the greater Hindutva ideology of Modi, and what they are doing in Kashmir is already seen by the world. What they are doing with other minorities in India is already seen by the world. So I believe that's the tactic of India to provoke Pakistan to act aggressively, which we are not doing, and will retaliate back. We have shown them that we can retaliate back. We have shown that we have second strike capability, but we'll choose the time and place of our own, according to our own strategy, according to our own needs, according to our own time. So we'll reply back to them, as our DG ISPR has categorically mentioned today, that world will see. We don't need any Indian channel to tell people that what we have done to India, what attacks we are doing. So I believe that we'll select the time and will retaliate back, and we have shown to them already. We have shot down their 5 warplanes, and that's French made warplane. That was like very big thing for them.
4.5 generation warplane.
So we have already shot
which
down
has never been taken down before.
Drones as well. So we have already shown them. We have already shown to the world that we can deter such kind of things. We both are nuclear power, and we know how to protect our citizens. We know how to protect our sovereignty. We know how to protect our army and our warplanes as well, as we all are protected. We have been protected by our military. So we know that we are in the safe hands, and if people are getting panicked due to fake information spreaded by Indian media, as they are doing such kind of things since long, and now they are spreading fake information regarding our army personnel. So I believe people know that they are already in the safe hands, and they have already been skewed by them.
The same subject matter, like there is a major war hysteria and jingoism in their media that is being perpetuated. I just wonder, is there not a single politician or a media outlet that is anti-war in India? Is there no sane voice left in India anymore?
Well, there are sane voices in India, both at the media level and
but they're
also
being
at
oppressed, I must add.
They are actually silenced by the use of force and power. I can at least name 2. Suppose Barkha Dutt is a very important name and a very notable journalist in India who has always been talking sense and always been very objective and balanced in her reporting. Same goes for Rajdeep, who is with Times Now. Barkha is of course a senior journalist. So people like Barkha and people like Rajdeep are there, but they are very less in number. Their voice is not being heard, and if there is voice, it is silenced by those who are in power. So what we are seeing right now is this jingoism, as you mentioned, and Indian media is playing a very dirty role, and I'll tell you how and why. Today, I was watching a report on Republic TV, which was basically an alteration of the speeches of Pakistani leaders. What they do is that they pick up a speech by a Pakistani politician or a senator or anybody who is holding an important public office. They put it in their packages in such a way which is a distortion and
completely taken out of
the
context.
Absolutely.
Taken out
For
of
instance,
context.
I would not name the senator. He was making a speech in the parliament recently, and he was talking about the situation in Gaza, and he was speaking in a very emotionally charged voice. He was even crying and seeking mercy from Allah Almighty, and it was basically regarding the conflict of Palestine. They picked that particular speech from the session of the Senate, and they used that in such a way that reflected as if he is seeking mercy from Allah because of the attacks that we are facing from Indian side. So this is an absolute injustice, absolute unethical practice when it comes to
These are
professional
really dangerous
standards.
rhetorics.
They certainly are, and what they are doing is that we are basically misleading their own people. So I would be wanting to address the Indian audience in particular, that if you are in search of true news, if you want to get access to objective reporting, PTV World is your best choice. PTV World is there to provide you all what is happening in your own country in the most balanced, objective and truthful manner. Don't listen to your media channels. They are misleading you. They're leading to a point where there is hatred and a lot of animosity between the people of India and the people of Pakistan, because the Indian media has been infuriating and preaching hatred. Not a single channel in Pakistan, be it at any level, has preached hatred against Indians or
We're seeing
against
a
the
lot
Hindus.
of speculation recently, a lot
That's
of
right.
very few facts, a lot of speculation. To our Pakistani audience, to our Indian audience, like, I must really urge everyone to verify news from credible news sources. Like, this is an age of misinformation and disinformation, and I think now every citizen is responsible for what they choose to believe without verifying it from the right sources.
That's right.
Basically, we are having the fact-checking platforms as well. You can use them. We have fact-checking platform of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. You can check them. Even I believe every big media house have the fact-checking desk. You can follow them for true information, for true news, because
For real journalism, you must
Exactly.
verify your facts.
And I was reading a tweet, almost 8,000 accounts were banned from India, just banned inside the India, and they were from India because they were just giving the true
Real news.
real news and what's happening there. They were they were not following the narrative of Modi government, and they were banned within the India, and obviously they were run by Indian people. They were run by the citizen who knew what's happening inside the India. So basically that's how they are controlling their people, that's how they are misguiding their people, that's how they are making their narrative against Pakistan and against Muslims. And it's not alarming for us in Pakistan or in people in India, but it's alarming for the Muslims living inside India, because they are making their narrative against them. So that's such an alarming situation.
And on this note, I must add that I'm very proud of the journalists in Pakistan who have played a very responsible role in addressing this situation, this conflict, and congratulations to our entire media who has played a very responsible role in this, apart we can see in contrast the Indian media.
Yeah. If you, it's a very interesting situation evolving here, Ghanwa. If you look at the Indian accusations coming to Pakistan, one of the main accusations today has been that Pakistani forces have launched attack inside India on the settled areas targeting civilians. That has been one accusation, right? And they say that they have downed our warplanes. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's accept that Pakistan did that. Where is the
What
proof?
is this fascination with these phantom strikes India has? Yes, do talk.
See, just for the sake of argument, even if we accept that, okay, we did launch attack inside the settled areas, where is the proof? On the contrary, when we say that India launched attack in Pakistani territory, we show them the proof, the remnants of their warplanes, the remnants of their drones, the remnants of their ammunition. So this is the proof that we present to the world. But India, on the contrary,
the DGISPR very rightfully said, this is the 21st century, and in the 21st century all weapons leave a signature, a digital trail behind, and they have shown nothing. They have shown absolutely nothing. The pictures that were shown, the field is not even burnt.
Exactly.
It's like someone just picked it up and put it down.
The
like
videos they are showing is from the Israeli attack to Gaza, and the videos are being used in their news channel, in their packages on their social media.
Journalism has been a sham, a complete joke so far.
See, this is the age of satellite. We are living in 21st century. We are not living in Stone Age. If an aeroplane takes off from Pakistan to attack India, it has to have a digital footprint. It has to have a footprint that actually proves that yes, this particular
monitored in real time
by all sources. When Pakistan claims that India intruded into Pakistani territory, we show the world the proof of that, whether it's the French aircrafts, or whether it's the Russian-made aircrafts, or the MiG-28 or Rafale. We show the world the proof. When India says that Pakistan targeted its settled areas, where is the proof? Is there any imagery? Is there any satellite footprint? Is there any remnants of the aircraft? There is the proof. So I would like to tell Indian people that please stop following your media. Try to get access to sources that give you the truthful news, the objective news, which is based on facts and reality. Your media, your government is involving disinformation, engaging people who are spreading lies, plain lies, lies after lies.
Exactly, or don't even follow us. Follow Al Jazeera, follow CNN. What
yes,
they're
they're
covering
international
about
credible sources, right? Absolutely. Now, talking about French-made Rafales, 4.5 generation of French-made Rafales, Pakistani Air Force has downed the latest generation aircrafts. What does it say about the readiness, the preparedness, the vigilance of our armed forces?
I believe it's about the preparedness, and it's about the sharp strategy of our armed forces that we have shot down their Rafale. And I told about this in the last program, that a high-ranking French intelligence official told CNN that it's the very first time in the history that any French-made warplane lost during a combat.
It was confirmed by French sources before Indian sources accepted their defeat.
Even French sources accepted that, and I believe that they embarrassed the French sources as French people as well, that they were dealing with them. So I believe that they are in the condition of sheer embarrassment. The people they are working with, the people they are collaborating with, the organizations, the manufacturers, the companies they are working with, because they are droning them as well. We were talking about this as well, that the French, the Rafale makers shares in the market down by like 1.7%, and JF Thunder rose by like 17.5%. That's too much. So that's what is behind that, or tactics, or or strategy, or will. We have the will, and we all know that wars are fought by the will, and we are ready for any kind of I believe any kind of full-fledged warfare as well. Even the people living in LOC are not leaving their homes. They are that much resilient. They have that much trust on their armed forces. They have that much trust on their civil military leadership, and they're not leaving their places. They're saying that we will try our best, and we'll be there in the front line while dealing with India in any way. So we are here, and we won't leave our places. That shows.
And let me share a very interesting story with you today. Rajnath Singh is the second most, arguably the second most important and notable leader in India after Narendra Modi. Today he made a speech in the Indian Parliament, and he was sounding very jittery and panicky the way Rafales and MiG-28 were down. He said that India has made a serious mistake by outsourcing its defense to countries like Russia and France, because the way these have been down has sent shock waves across India. You see, each plane that was targeted by Pakistan's army and shot down cost India, one plane, $300 million US. India spent millions of dollars in buying these heavy weaponry from France and from Russia and from other countries. Now they are saying that we should rely more on our domestic sources, because if we have to spend millions of dollars to buy these aircrafts only to be downed in a couple of minutes by Pakistan, what's the point in buying these aircrafts? So there's absolute frustration going on in India. They are
staying on that same subject matter. I was like, okay, the airplanes, the Rafales are quite sophisticated, quite advanced aircrafts. I believe, and I would like to ask you, do you think the Indian Air Force lacks the skill to operate such sophisticated machinery? Because with their hands, with their pilots, they were completely useless.
Obviously, if you give a gun to the hand of monkey, what would he do? What would he done with that? So basically, that's how they are dealing, and they have revealed the weakness of their air force, that they don't have
Their
tactics,
training
they don't
is
have
lacking.
the strategy, they don't have the training, they
don't
have the will
will.
as well. So basically, I was reading a news, and they were saying that Pakistan has attacked India, and what they were doing, actually, they were doing the mock drills there, and they didn't inform their own people that we are going to do the mock drills, and then their media was highlighting that Pakistan has attacked Amritsar and Pakistan has attacked India. So that's how they work, that's how their leadership is, that's how their media is, that's how their tactics are. So what do you suggest? Even if they are getting the latest technology of the world, they cannot do that. Reason behind that is, the first thing, they don't have will, second thing, they don't have strategy, and the other thing is that they are trying to provoke people. They don't have a proper goal. Why they are having the arsenals? Why they are having the weapons?
The motivation is lacking.
They are not
they're
there for
motivated
the
by
defensive
fear.
purpose. Actually, they are there for the offensive person. And when you are having things for the offensive person, purpose, so you cannot take the right decision. And that's the problem with the civil and military leadership with India, that they are unable to take a right decision at the right time, and that's why they are provoking Pakistan again and again to take any aggressive action. But the sanity prevails among the leadership of Pakistan, and they are not doing such kind of things, and they are not trying to destabilize the peace of the region, because they know the repercussions of war, and we have really worked hard to get out of such things. So we know the repercussions of it, but still it's a win that we have shot down the warplane technology of a state that is bigger than us, the economy that is bigger than us, that they are having more manpower than us. So I believe that's our win on every end.
That Pakistan knows what conflict really means.
Exactly.
We have suffered the losses. As I was recalling, you can see the Indian media and the general public on social media. We have seen the death of a child of an innocent child was celebrated.
Oh my God.
Very poorly celebrated, and Pakistan, who has suffered a heinous attack like APS, after that none of us, the entire Pakistani nation, condemned the Pahalgam attack.
Exactly.
But unlike our nation, unlike our media, unlike our leadership, they did not condemn the death of this child.
So inhumane, and I believe
it's immature, it's inhumane,
and they are becoming
irresponsible.
butchers. I think in the hatred for Muslims, they cannot see what is right or wrong. They just want to eliminate us. They just want to eliminate.
Hatred is clouding their
Muslims.
judgment.
Exactly, and they just want to eliminate every kind of minority from India, and they want to promote the ideology of greater Hindutva, which will be failed miserably, because in a state, when you are a leader, when you are there, you have to protect all kind of people.
And in a
there.
country like India that has so many minorities,
they call themselves secular, but they are not. Actually, they cannot accept anyone in their neighboring countries. So how can they let live people inside them? So we have seen their atrocities in the India as well. So basically, they are provoking us. They are too much frustrated. They are aggressive, and in such kind of aggression, in which they are on one side they are provoking Pakistan through such kind of drones. On the other side, they are hoisting white flags again and again. When we retaliate back, when we counter strike, they cannot tolerate or counter strike. They cannot tolerate, or second strike. Then they start hoisting the white flag on the one side. On the other side, they are trying their people to be misguided. They are trying to control their narrative that Pakistan is trying to destabilize us. Pakistan is attacking us, but truth is in front of everyone. So they are in the confusion, and in such kind of confusion, they are, I believe, they are not harming us. They are harming themselves. They are harming their own future. They are harming their own technology. They are harming their own people. So I believe they are their own enemies. They don't need anyone else.
Hassan, do you think the rise of Hindutva ideology is becoming a fascist regime in India now?
Let's first talk about the size of India. You were mentioning about their size in terms of their economy and their defense. There was a saying in English that the bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Exactly.
India is numerically bigger than Pakistan, that's absolutely right. But if you look at the size of their weaponry, their defense, it is bigger than Pakistan. But in terms of professional excellence, in terms of expertise, in terms of brilliance, Pakistan is way ahead of them. Look what happened in the case of Rafales and MiG-29. I think if the Rafales and MiG-29 and 28 could not save India from Pakistan, then nothing possibly can. And now, as far as Pakistan's response is concerned, there is another very interesting saying in English that revenge is a dish served best when cold. That is exactly what Pakistan is doing. For the last several hours, Pakistan had been quiet. Pakistan was constantly being prodded. Pakistan was constantly being provoked, but Pakistan was maintaining a very sensible and a very responsible silence. That was basically a tactical mum before a strike. This was a calm before a storm. If you recall Ata Tarar's speech in the National Assembly today, you would recall that his tone, his tenor, his body language said it all. It was very self-explanatory. At the end of the speech, when he said that we are going to give you a response, quote unquote, his tone suddenly went up. His pitch was higher than the entire previous speech, which was again an indication of the fact that Pakistan is planning a very well thought out, very careful, very responsible but very restrained reply. Now let's take a litmus test here. We have been saying that India has targeted civilians in Pakistan. Let's just take one proof. That few, one of the few, let's just take the example of that child who was the son of one of Pakistan's lieutenant colonel who was shot dead by India and he was buried in Islamabad graveyard. This was empirical evidence there. When India says that Pakistan has launched attack inside Indian territory on civilian targets, name a single channel, name a single newspaper, name a single photo or name a single individual or a family which says that, okay, I am the one whose son or sister or wife or brother was shot dead and I claim that it was done by Pakistan. Not a single shred of evidence is available. Now the entire international community is seeing this. India is feeling frustrated. That is why it has now resorted to this information warfare, indulging in disinformation, asking their channels to portray Pakistan in negative light, questioning Pakistan's integrity. But the point is that if you have an evidence, then show it to the world. Stop whining, stop browbeating. Go to the world and show them that this is the image of the child or the woman or the elderly person who was shot dead by the Pakistanis. They don't have any. Or at least you show us the infrastructure damage that was caused as a result of Pakistan's firing or Pakistan's aerial bombardment. They don't have any. So the point is that this mindless and this constant campaigning, smear campaigning by India to engage Pakistan in fight is only aimed at provoking Pakistan and presenting Pakistan as an aggressor so that they could justify their onslaught against Pakistan and tell the world that, okay, what we are now doing is in response to what Pakistan has done. Pakistan has never shed the first blood ever since this conflict broke out, and Pakistan never will. But the response that Pakistan has given is not ending here. It is coming in phases. The retaliation process is going on. The military, the civil leadership are in tandem deciding and considering the options. As we speak, we have heard that just an hour ago, there have been fresh attacks by Pakistan across the line of control, but again, only targeting the military posse. Targeting a brigade headquarter on the LOC is not a small thing.
Exactly.
So
it's not defense, it's dominance.
Absolutely. This is why they were, flying that white flag, which I term was not a sign of
peace, but
peace,
defeat.
but an apology. But an apology. But these Indians, they never learn from their mistakes. And I'm seeing that there are these 4 or 5 old men, Ajit Doval, and then Amarnath Singh, and then Narendra Modi, and then this Amit Shah. These 4 people, these 4 dirty brains sit down and they come up with these theories and then these conspiracies to not let live and also not their own people live in peace and tranquility, and they're constantly engaging people, whether it's the Sikhs, whether it's the Muslims within India or the neighbors outside India, in fights, in aggression, in controversies, in confrontation. So this is something that is not going to lead the world anywhere.
You talked about the Information Minister Ata Tarar's statements. I would also like your comments on DG ISPR's statements and Deputy Prime Minister's statement, because that also shed a lot of light on the matter.
That's in response to the accusations that were coming from India, saying that Pakistan had launched attacks inside the Indian territory. The DG ISPR was very categoric and very clear and vocal in Pakistan's policy with regards to the attacks from India. He said that if and when we launch an attack, it will send shock waves, it will send echoes across India. We are not supposed to buy your arguments, we're not supposed to accept the allegations that you are making against us. If we do something, if we are victorious in targeting the required targets within India, we'll show it to the world and we'll show it to you as well. Our attacks, our response is not going to be quiet. It is going to be heard and seen across India, across the world. So this again tells a lot about Pakistan's coming response. I think this calm that we are seeing is basically a calm before a storm, because again, you know, the bottom line of the statement of the DGISPR is that we are going to avenge even the single drop of blood that was shed by India, whether it's in Pakistani Kashmir or in the settled areas of Pakistan, the blood of the children, the blood of innocent women, the unarmed elderly people. So we are going to avenge that. When we say avenge, that certainly means that there is something really, really scary happening. This is making India go crazy. India is going nuts. India is acting in
panicking now.
Absolute frenzy. Ghanwa, it's very difficult to gauge the response of your adversary which is not acting sensibly. If you are dealing with an individual, let's suppose an individual who is mentally deranged, you simply cannot preempt his next action.
They're not thinking logically anymore.
Not at all. If you're acting sensibly and the other person is mentally deranged, you never know what he might do. He might abuse you, he might kill you, he might bite you, he might conspire against you, or he might just run away.
Or he might kill himself.
Or he might just kill himself, you know. So we are dealing with we are dealing with an enemy which is acting senselessly and mindlessly. So that's the a dilemma that Pakistan is faced with. We cannot spare this enemy, and if we take on this enemy, we have to take into account all the multiple potential options that we should be exhausting, because you never know the person's approach or the person's strategy who does not have any morality left.
Exactly.
And an enemy who is acting way above and beyond all norms of civility, all norms of humanity, all norms of international decency, all norms of diplomacy, all norms of war convention, nothing is stopping India from acting as a rogue state.
We have shown grace and diplomatic maturity on all fronts, on all occasions where we could have chosen aggression, but we did not. We did not choose to escalate. We didn't start this escalation, but we sure know how to end it.
Absolutely. As I said, each and every blood has to be, each and every drop of the blood has to be avenged. Pakistan is going to avenge that. Pakistan is not going to let go in vain the blood, the innocent people who lost their lives or who are now injured and being treated in Pakistani hospitals. As far as India is concerned, India is trying to, what India is desperately trying to do now is to basically save itself from the shame that is faced with in the face of this entire conflict. The people within India are questioning, grilling India, holding them responsible for indulging the country and putting the country under this environment of shame and this shadow of embarrassment. So India is basically now trying to look for an escape. Now how it is to be done? It is to be done in a way.
This latest episode has just embarrassed them furthermore.
Exactly.
Added to their embarrassment, and they are doing that one after the other.
Humiliated once again.
And they're not getting the safe exit out of it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
But they are trying to desperately wriggle out from this conflict, but they are not able to. Now what they are doing is that they are engaging Pakistan, and if Pakistan responds, then they are going to be responding again to Pakistan, and then they'll tell the world that, okay, we had a fight, we achieved our targets, we did our bit, and now we are going. So this this botched attempt to engage Pakistan in the conflict first and then accuse Pakistan of aggression and then wriggling out and slithering away is the strategy that probably is going to unfold in the days to come. But the situation continues to be volatile, because you see, it's a very unusual situation. You would not find an example in the entire world of two nuclear powers fighting with each other on the border in the conventional way. It's a very dangerous situation. It certainly has the possibility of exploding into a full-fledged nuclear conflagration. You can't rule that out. But unfortunately, the world is sounding somewhat insensitive to the sensitivity of the situation, because in the present age, we are seeing that at least two full-scale wars are going on. One between Russia and Ukraine, and the second between Hamas.
Do you think the world has been desensitized with so much carnage already going on that they've not even responded correctly? Like, for example, the UN could have done so much more to restrain India.
They could have, but they didn't. Let's take, for example, the US administration. Mr. Trump has the reputation of being an anti-war president. But look what he has done practically. Practically, he has not stopped Russia and Ukraine from fighting. Practically, he has not stopped Israel and Hamas from fighting. So what is this reputation off, I mean, if you are not acting when required, if you are not using your political influence when required, then I think Trump administration is currently more focused on flexing United States of America economically and diplomatically. The Trump administration is not as concerned as it should have been or could have been in terms of settling disputes between countries like Pakistan and India. And I have also had an opportunity to sort of, speak to different American scholars and thinkers, and they say that Donald
Hassan,
Trump.
I would like you to just hold that thought. We will be right back after a short break. Stay tuned to PTV World. Stay tuned to the Situation Room. We'll be right back.